What is up guys, welcome back to the channel. Today's video is a bit of a special one because many of you guys asked me in the comment section and suggest me to make this type of video for a long time. And I know many of you guys are really like to play free-to-play games and not necessarily have the most powerful PC or the internet connection to do that. So in today's video, I'm gonna bring you guys 10 of my favorite free-to-play Steam games that comes under 500 megabyte download, which is absolutely nothing. You can download this game within a couple of minutes and start playing right away. And all of these games going to be completely free to play and available to download right now on Steam, and most of these games can actually run on a very low-end systems as well. So if you want to see the part 2 of this series, definitely go ahead and drop a like on the video. If this video reached like 100 plus like within the first 24 hours, I'll be definitely making the part 2 of that video. So without further ado guys, let's get right into it. Alright, starting today's list with a very newly released action-adventure game called Cave Crawlers. It's a free-to-play 3D action-adventure type of a game, and the gameplay and the graphics are very similar to something like Minecraft, which appealing to a lot of the casual audience, and I'm sure many of you guys enjoy this game. In this game, you can play the single player or you can play with up to 10 other players, which is really awesome. And the game has a randomly generated environment, and your pure goal is to explore these underground dungeons and caves, also using your arsenal of weapons, spells, and talents to beat different enemies and bosses. It's a very simple looking but really fun game to play, and the download size is actually less than 100 megabytes, which is absolutely nothing, and system requirements are honestly not that heavy. You can even play this game with integrated graphics. Alright, next up we got a really awesome single player game called Sky Island. Sky Island is a free-to-play top-down action adventure game where your goal is to explore this beautiful environment, defeat monsters and enemies, and also you have to fix your plane and return home safely. It's completely a single player game with beautiful art style and level design, so definitely give it a try when you have a free time. And the download size is also comes just under 500 megabytes, and the minimum system requirements are also pretty acceptable as well. Next up we got an awesome game for those who like to play more like a 2D style games, and it is called Revenge of the Shadow Ninja. So it's a free-to-play side-scrolling action-adventure game where you play as a samurai who is in a mission to try to get the revenge and also at the same time try to save your own son. In this game you got bunch of skills that you can unlock which help you to fight against different enemies, deadly traps and bosses, and along the way you can also collect gold which help you to upgrade those skills. It's a very short and sweet single-play game where you can enjoy at a free time, and the download size is also less than 100 megabytes, and you can absolutely run this game even with a very low-end system as well. Next up we got a game called Red Match 2. Red Match 2 is a free-to-play fast-paced casual first-person shooter with extremely fun movement mechanics and very easy to handle gunplay. And the game also let you have a grappling hook which you can grapple around, move around, which is really fun to do. It's a very simple game, only have like one game mode which is more like a team deathmatch, but whenever you get killed you will get points, and you can use this point to upgrade your different skills like your health, your movement speed and your jump speed. So it's definitely a fun game to try out, and the download size comes around 350 megabytes, and the system requirements are also pretty acceptable as well. Alright, next up we got a super fun, very funny cooking simulator game called One Armed Cook. So it's basically a free-to-play hilarious cooking game where you can play with up to 4 other players, but as the name suggests guys, you can only use one hand, which means everything is going to be pretty messy and chaotic, and that is actually the fun part of this game. It's a super fun game with cartoonish polygon art style and very goofy physics, and I would say definitely the most fun game in today's list. And the game also have a very small download size, is just around 350 megabytes, and the system requirements are also not that heavy, pretty acceptable in 2023. Alright guys, before moving on to the second part of the video, if you enjoy this type of free-to-play content, definitely go ahead and drop a like on the video and also subscribe and stay tuned, which is definitely gonna help me out a lot, so drop a like and a sub, much appreciated. Alright, next up at number 5 we got a very simple game but something I really enjoyed earlier this year, and that game is called Handshakes. It's a very simple free-to-play casual game. All you gotta do is beat all the hurdles and find a way to shake both hands. Yes, it does seem like a pretty easy game, but the end levels are pretty challenging. Another cool feature is that you can play this game on split screen with another player, which is really awesome, or otherwise you can play single player. The choice is yours. So if you're looking for a fun casual game to kill some time, this is probably the perfect game for you. And the download size is actually less than 50 megabytes, which is absolutely nothing, and the system requirements are very low spec friendly. You don't have to worry about it at all. Next up, we got one of my favorite single-player indie title called Angerfoot. And if you guys might remember, I covered this game a couple of times back in my channel. Anyway, it's a free-to-play, super fast-paced action game where you simply have to kick your way through hurdles of enemies, try to beat the level as quickly as you can. Along the way, you will find various types of enemy types, bosses, and also a good variation of weapons that you can use. But kicking doors and kicking enemies in the head is the super fun way to get you through. Anyway, the game is available on an indie game website called itch.io. You can directly download and try the game out. Otherwise, the game is also available on Steam, but they're going to release the game fully in 2024. In the meantime, you can try out the demo version for absolutely free. The download size is also very small, around 450 megabytes, and the system requirements are also pretty acceptable as well. Next up, we got a brand new game that is very recently released onto the Steam, and it's a game called Burger Zombies. So it's a free-to-play single-player top-down shooter where you play as a burger delivery man who is completing his orders during this zombie apocalypse. Overall, it's a very fun game where you pick up and deliver orders while shooting against hordes of zombies, and I absolutely love this beautiful art style which is very unique to this game. Download size is also very small, just comes at around 300 megabytes, but the system requirements that they mention on the Steam page is pretty weird, which has extremely high system requirements, even more than some of the AAA titles, so I honestly believe you don't have to have such a system to play the game. If you have a decent enough system, you are most likely good enough to go. Alright, next up at number 2, we got an extremely popular title that need absolutely no introduction, and that is a game called Krunker, and I'm sure most of you guys already played this game. The game started as a browser game, still one of the most popular browser games that you can play, but if you want to download, the game is also available on Steam. It's a super fun, casual, fast-paced first-person shooter filled with huge amount of casual game modes alongside mod support, and you can easily join the millions of players playing this game daily. The download size is also very small, comes at around 150 megabytes, and you absolutely don't have to worry about the system requirement because this game is basically a browser game. If you're someone who really enjoys games like Among Us, now we have a great free-to-play alternative, and that is a Goose Goose Duck. It's an extremely popular, pretty well-established free-to-play title on Steam, and it's very similar to the popular casual game Among Us in every single way, but with some added gameplay features like proximity voice chat and party mode up to 16 players. So this is absolutely a must-play game, especially if you got a bunch of friends to play alongside with you. And the download size is also very small, comes at around 500 megabytes. System requirements are also very low specs friendly. You only need to have a 2 gigs of RAM and some integrated graphics to play this game. Well, that's about it for this video, guys. So I hope you guys find some great free-to-play games that you can play even if you have a very limited internet connection. Definitely let me know down below what is your favorite game from today's list. And also, if you got more suggestions about good free-to-play games, definitely leave a comment down below as well. And finally, guys, if you enjoyed the video so far, please go ahead and drop a like. And as I said, if this video reach 100 likes, I'll be definitely making the part 2 for this video. And also subscribe and stay tuned for more content like this. I will catch you guys soon in my next video. Stay safe.